Too jazzy.
What's up guys, how y'all doing? Cosmic Carrie here, rolling out in my tier 9 German light tank, the RU Spähpanzer 251, leading of course to the, I cannot remember, the Panzerwagen, I can't remember the tier 10 German light tank, which I have actually required. I've only got a few games underneath my belt, but I've had the RU 251 in my garage for a long time, but there was never a desire from myself to get acquainted with the tank, so I didn't really have an opinion. I used to kind of dabble in the tank here and there, but I never got to grips with the actual tank. Now of course with the release of the tier 10s, I was forced to grind it out, forced to knock out a couple of hundred games, and I have to say I went from no opinion whatsoever to absolutely loving the tank. I really enjoyed. I've 100% kept the tank, but I have to say I really enjoyed playing this tank. Initially I did start off using it as a passive scout, and I had binocs and camo. I dropped that after about 10-20 games because with the RE251, the light tanks in the German light tank line, they're really fast, they're really quick, they're really nimble, and that is your kind of biggest advantage. So binocs and camo are not needed because you're never going to really stand still in the initial stages of the game, like I am here. Yes, 100%, because I'm trying to give situational awareness to my team, trying to light up some targets for my team, and to get some assist damage. You know, you get silver for the assist damage, you get XP, you're doing a grind, so you want to get as much XP as possible. So you can see me, I'm not interested in shooting my gun here. I do have coded optics on the tank. I can't remember, is the view range, I think it's 400, I can't remember, but yeah, I do have coded optics. I think it's gun rammer and vents on the tank. But with regards to the actual tank, it's very similar to the Leopard PTA, I have to say, which is the tier 9 medium German tank. Very similar in profile, appearances. Of course it's much quicker, much lighter, less armor. The gun isn't as fantastic as it is on the Leopard PTA, but still it's a pretty decent gun for a light tank. You got the same issues with gun depression. At the front there's barely any, and as soon as you kind of move it, I don't know, is it 45 degrees left or right, then it kind of drops, I believe, to 10 degrees on either side. I think so, I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. And but it's a lot of fun, this tank, you know. But like I said, your greatest advantage, your greatest asset in this tank is the speed. There's a lot of complaining on the forums with regards to the light tanks because of they twirl around and they make a mockery of the armor on a big massive 100-ton tank. And yeah, I mean, there is some gravitas, there is some weight to that complaint. I don't remember watching any movies like Kelly's Heroes or Fury where the tanks are just, you know, there's a little tiny tank twirling around, the big heavy tank blasting the thing into oblivion. But you know, it's Wargaming have said this on a number of occasions. It's not a tank simulator game. It's a game primarily, I guess. But for now, you know, the light tanks are here. They're here to stay, and what can I say? But again, I'm repeating myself. There is something to be said for when a light tank comes out on top of the leaderboard with damage, and you kind of ask yourself, is that right? You know, is that when you're in artillery, you come out on a number of occasions top of the leaderboard with damage? Well, yeah, that's correct. It's artillery. They don't get rewarded that much in XP, but they're usually up there with the damage, and usually. But anyhow, So let's get into the gameplay. This is it a carry? Is it a clutch? Or is it a heartbreak? Which one is it? As you can see, Mimi, I'm kind of joining up forces with this RE251. It's neck and neck at the moment. We've kind of gone past the stage of where I'm scouting. T95, I was rolling the dice here, and I managed to, yeah, my tracks. It is shot. It's a video game. I'll take it. I'll take that. Yeah, so he did that big massive shell from that big massive tank did not manage to penetrate the side of a light tank. But somehow miraculously got eaten by the tracks on a light tank. Yeah, okay, I'll take it. Who gives a shit? Anyhow, they're playing the view range game there on the E75. Confident I was going to place shots and not get lit up. And again, as you can see, myself and this RE251 moving in for the kill on this T71. Tap him and incur my first bit of damage. And now we're kind of, both of us, you can see us, we're moving on to this. The E75. E75 very tricky to very easy. It's kind of, the armor reminds me of a Russian tank. It's you have to get it, you know, side on or directly into the rear, etc., etc. There, you know, there's no second chances. You have to place those shots very, very carefully if you want to penetrate that tank. And this is important, you know, because the E75 is a very, very OP machine in the right hands, and this is kind of important to mention because a friendly E75 is going to come into play later on. And there you go, and you can see that this is what I was talking about with regards to, yeah, this is an OP machine, the E75. Granted, there's two light tanks. Well, there's quite a few tanks surrounding him, but anyhow, I was not, if there was nobody there apart from myself and that E75, no problema, you know. I'm in a light tank. I'm in a light tank. I'm not scared of E75 armor. I'm in a light tank. So looking for our next victim. When these kind of moments, I'm thinking, okay, let's go take out artillery. You know, that's always, it's a bonus because it's artillery, and B, you want to take out artillery for your team, and etc, etc. But I'm gonna come across the Japanese heavy, the tier 9 here in just a moment. I don't think I discover the artillery back here. I was 100% fully expecting any second now, you know, artillery's gonna show up, but no. What do I find? And this kind of, you can see where the spawn point is, that red number 1, and where this gentleman is. So this says to me, in experience, this says to me, you don't have balls, and this says to me, you know, nothing personal against the player. I'm using this information for my advantage. You know, I'm not stating these opinions, stroke facts, to knock the guy down as a player. It's just, this is the information this is conveying to me. This massive heavy tank has barely moved from his spawn point, and yeah, so that's kind of good news for me. So 100%, I was initially gonna, I'll come back for you, but then I see the two heavies are kind of moving in for the kill on the Japanese heavy. So I decide, okay, let's all three of us engage at the same time. But I need to be cautious, I need to be careful, and you can see he's down in that ditch, which is perfect for me, and his attention is focused on a compadre of mine. He's just fired, so I can move in front of his gun. I can do this all day. I need to load heat, unfortunately, because that way I'm kind of guaranteed pens. There we go. We're trying to set his engine on fire. That's kind of, and there you go. See, artillery takes out one of my compadres, and there's only two of us left, myself and the E75. This is the E75 I was telling you guys about. And there you go. The Type 4 Heavy gets taken out And now all that's left is myself and the E75. E75 on pretty decent health. I think he was on full health. But I need to lose my sixth sense, my detected, etc. You know, because of artillery. This tank is very easily penetrated by artillery. So now the game isn't over. I mean, it's 13-11, but the game is definitely not over, because what do they have on the opposing team? It's just I think it was a T-29, a light tank, and an M103. I mean, what the heck is a T-29 gonna do against an E-75? M103, that's 100% different. But I'm still gonna stick close to my E-75 for now. But the question is, where is the M103? And the question is, we need to deal with the T-29, the light tank, because artillery is still in play. I spot the M103 on a minuscule amount of health. I figure I need to take this guy out. You know, the M103 is a major threat, and he is, I think, a one-shot to me. So I decided to abandon my E75. And it's like I said, if you're a skilled player and you're in an E75, you know, you should be able to go the distance. And not only that, he was on full health. He was on full health. Granted, artillery is in play. And there we go. I take out the M103, which was a major threat. It didn't matter that he was on a minuscule amount of health. But look what happens. The E75 gets taken out. Now, I went and took a look at the replay, and it was because there was a surge of guilt here. I had let the guy down. I figured artillery had just bombarded him. The light tank had done circles around him. I haven't got a clue, you know. So there was a surge of guilt here, and I said that I need to check and see what happened and send the guy an apology message or something, because I should have stuck by him, you know. But truth be told, 4 versus 2, you know. So when I did go ahead and check the replay, I discovered I'm still looking for artillery here. When I did go ahead and check the replay, it was the 75's fault. Why? Because his crew sucked, 100%. He got tracked on an incline, uphill, and his repairs just took forever. One of the first things that I do when I'm training a brand new crew on a heavy tank is I go for sixth sense, go for brothers in arms, then I go for repairs, and the second repair skill or perk. You know, those are the first 4 skills and perks that I go for when it comes to heavy tanks. You need to repair your tracks as quick as possible, because that is your Achilles heel. That is your biggest weakness. So, but anyhow, T-49 and artillery left. Now, the trick here is I have to find them, because otherwise this is a losing game. So far it's been a fantastic game, 16 pens, 5 kills. I have to find them, you know. I have to take at least one of them out in order to give my team a draw. But when I do find them, they cannot be together, because if they're together they can take me out, because one can use the other as bait, etc, etc. So it's important then that when I come across them, that they're separate, that they're not together. But the thing is, I mean, if you're a decent player and you're in this situation, you would gang up, just like I ganged up with the E75, although I did leave the E75. But yeah, so it's important now that when I come across either of these guys, you know, they're solo, they're by themselves, they're not together. That's what's important, because I can deal with them one at a time. And 100% there's the artillery, and yes indeed I fluff up the first shot, but I need to keep moving. I'm a lightly armored tank. He fires, no problema. I slow down, I get a shot into him, but lo and behold, the friggin' light tank shows up, the T-49. And now here for a second you can see I'm swiveling my head. Where is he? I haven't got a clue. And he gets a shot into my side and takes me out. And so yeah, heartbreak, heartache, I'm afraid. I could have played that better, maybe coulda, shoulda, woulda, but you know, it is what it is. I was thankful that I got my mastery badge. I was so thankful. That was a bit of a bonus surprise there. I did manage to get my mastery badge because it was eluding me. The light tanks, the levels for the mastery badges are so high. Because a lot of the tryhards, you know who you are, play these tanks. And I'm guessing I must have just scraped in there with, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, I got my mastery badge. That's the main thing. It could have, yeah, so what? It says defeat instead of victory. Who gives a toss? I had a fantastic game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please drop a like. Drop a like. Just press the like button. Go on. Take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos. I'll see you in the battlefield.